Hey everyone, welcome to the Rebel Scum podcast. I'm James. If you're new to the channel, give us a like and a subscribe. That's how you do things on YouTube. Today, I'm joined with executive producer Heidi. Heidi, hi. Heidi, hi.
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for joining me today.
It's always a pleasure being here.
It's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to your heart because you got into. I can't wait to do. We do Outlander Club here on the channel once in a while where we go through everybody's Star Wars story, and I cannot wait to get yours because you have the most unique introduction to the Star. We won't spoil it right now, but but there's something coming from. We're just gonna say the holiday special, but there's something from the holiday special that is mentioned in the Mandalorian season 1, and it looks like we're gonna be seeing it in Mandalorian season 3. There's a lot of really cool Mandalorian season 3 news coming our way. We've got to talk about it because it looks like the lore of Mandalore as a whole is going to explode. The Mythosaur is returning, Heidi. Have you heard this rumor right now? There's a possible leak from Bespin Bulletin saying that the Mythosaur, apparently all the Mandalorians are going to be in a cave. And it's not just like Din Djarin and Grogu and Baby Yoda, our friend Baby Yoda, but also Bo-Katan and Axis Woves is going to be there, who disappeared. And Bo-Katan, the actress Katie Sackhoff, said there was a reason for it, but she wasn't allowed to say what it was. We're going to find out, I guess, what that reason is. But the Mythosaur apparently makes... I guess it's a live action debut there, unless I'm mistaken. How do you feel about this, and what are your thoughts?
I think it's amazing, and I'm wondering if Grogu is going to have a hand in it. Perhaps what he did with the Rancor is foreshadowing of him dealing with the Mythosaur in the Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, do you think that there's a... because the Mandalorian started so strong and it had little, had little touches here, like they kind of referenced the Life Day in the first episode, and it made reference to the Mythosaur, obviously, and all these little Star Wars things. Obviously, the Ewok movies have references in them with the blurgs and stuff like that. Do you think that maybe, though, they could fear that they might be going too far down this path of going too deep into the lore? Do you think that there's a chance that maybe they're going too deep into it and maybe they should have just stuck to it and kept that stuff more underneath the surface a little bit and just gave it nods instead of going full force into this stuff?
You know, I love Easter eggs, so I always get a kick out of I always have my nerdgasms whenever I see like a callback to anything that's canon. So even things that might be brought from the extended universe that's made canon. Although I wasn't really into the AU, but I know some of the AU lore.
Yeah, they use a lot of fun. I think they're pulling a lot of that from coming up in this. But I know you have some thoughts on more rumors that are going on, because in that cave that they're going to be in, apparently Grogu, Baby Yoda, is going to be in his like mecha suit, the IG-11. They're going to turn IG-11 into like a body armor for Grogu. How they come across IG-11, I have no idea. But what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting. I mean, he's kind of a cash cow. I don't think they're going to want to cover his face too much. When I heard that the first time, I immediately, and maybe I'm dating myself, but I used to love Voltron when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The original, actually, the Japanese, excuse me, I also have seen the original Japanese Go Lion, which very different series. I don't know if you've seen that. But reminded me of like the mechas from Japanime and everything like that. I heard somewhere that it might actually be a sentient suit, which also reminded me of Voltron, because I remember Voltron. I think the lions in Voltron were sentient as well.
Yeah.
I've had so many theories about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Although this isn't my original theory, and I don't remember where I really originally heard it, but some believe that maybe the Mandalorian isn't about Din; it might be about Grogu. And it's my theory that Grogu is the one who is going to wield the Darksaber and end up ruling Mandalore. Although I've heard rumors it's going to be Bo-Katan. I don't know. But I thought maybe he might use the Force to wield the Darksaber, or maybe he would use the Force to control Din while using the Darksaber. But if he's getting this mecha suit, then I can now see how he could actually be the one to wield the Darksaber.
Yeah, I know that in this report from Bespin Bulletin, I think they go on to say there that the armor is there and Paz Vizsla's there, and they have the Darksaber, and they hold up some stuff, and they say for Mandalore, and they give it to Bo-Katan, and they are, I think it's a guess in that article that she is the ruler of Mandalore at that point. Because we know that she was the ruler of Mandalore unrightfully so, and that's how she came to lose it, and Mandalore fell again, obviously. So we know that happened already. So it's intriguing that she would get it again. I'm also thinking maybe she's temporary, because also Grogu's 50 years old, but he's also an infant child, so he can't rule Mandalore just yet. Because that's kind of the wavelength I'm on as well, is that they could be leading towards Grogu leading Mandalore, but that could be in 100 years for all we know, right? So 100 years from now, Grogu could be the one leading Mandalore, and in that time, Bo-Katan's not going to be around for 100 years, neither is Din Djarin, so something's going to come up. I just said that Din Djarin's going to pass away. Inevitably, it's going to have to happen before Grogu is even an adult, right? And maybe that turns little Grogu into a dark side user, because he can't, just like Anakin. There's a lot of similarities with Grogu and Anakin that really intrigue me as well. But I'm with you on this, though. I think I like the idea of setting him up to be the rule of Mandalore, because what that also does, Heidi, is it separates it from the sequels so much that it can coexist with them without having to interact with them in any way.
Well, I mean, another thing about Anakin and Grogu, they're the same age.
Yep.
So I don't know. Something interesting about the armor. I'll be honest with you, some of the stuff I don't keep up on. I know who the actress is who plays the armor, but I don't know if we really know who she is. There have been some theories floating around there, like maybe she's actually Sabine, who thought it was wrong of her to give her sister the Darksaber, because she seemed to know a lot about how to wield it.
Mm-hmm.
Which Sabine, I guess, had learned from the one Jedi, I'm blocking his name. Although she's not supposed to appear until, if there is a live action, she's not supposed to appear until Ahsoka. So I don't know. That might not be her. That's just one theory. Another theory is that she might be Omega, but I have my own theories on Omega. So.
Oh, I want to hear those. Did you like Book of Boba Fett?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like The Last Jedi. You either love it or hate it. The thing that's interesting, like my sister did not want to watch it because she's one of the people who did not like Boba Fett. And I said, okay, we'll just watch because I had her husband went out of town. She's like, can you spend the weekend with me? She goes, I don't want to be alone. I'm like, okay. I'm like, she liked The Mandalorian. I mean, I had to drag her to see The Mandalorian. I said, you'll like it, trust me. And she was surprised. She liked it, but she's like, well, I don't like Boba Fett. I'm like, okay, well, just watch the last 5 episodes because you really, you can pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, the last 3 episodes. I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, this is the first time I ever liked Boba Fett. So she went back and watched it again. So it's interesting.
No, I love the Book of Boba Fett. I've said that numerous times, and I think people think I'm crazy for liking it, but I thought it was very strong storytelling. I think it enhances the lore a lot as well. I know people didn't like the Vespa guys. Whatever, Vespas are cool. I don't care. But that's it. I also kind of thought that Boba Fett might also become a ruler of Mandalore. I'm curious, like, because that series ends, and everybody people want a sequel, even people that didn't like it.
Right.
And they want more, and I feel like, yeah, maybe, but if it almost is kind of over for him, I would like to see him and Fennec Shand not have their own series anymore, but kind of be a part of other series. And I think Boba Fett now maybe not becoming a leader of Mandalore, but learning how, guiding maybe a future leader of Mandalore from everything that he's learned now, and maybe he can be the one that kind of helps bring peace to Mandalore. But this cave stuff obviously seems to negate all of that theory, because something is going on in there. They're in the waters and all that stuff, and they got to be reborn in there. And Din Djarin showed his face, and maybe Axis Wolf showed his face as well, or they all show their face in that one. So it's very curious, the two dichotomies of the Mandalorian people, that they're coming together finally.
Right. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people didn't like the flashback scenes. I like the flashback scenes in the Book of Boba Fett. I think it gave his character. It's funny. Some of the people like, well, they liked the AU better. I was like, so you like it better that a blind man accidentally hit his jetpack and went smack into the barge, and like a Looney Tune character, and then fell in. And then when he finally crawls right out, Han Solo throws him back in. You like that better, but I kind of feel like with the end credit scene in the Book of Boba Fett, I kind of got the feeling that they were leaving Tatooine for Cobb Vanth, and that Fennec and Boba were going to become mercenaries. But maybe I was wrong. Because she says, or he says, I'm blocking. One of them says, well, she says, well, if not us, he's like, this isn't life for me. And she's like, well, if not us, then who? And then the show ends. But then they show Cobb Vanth in the back of the tank. So I kind of got the feeling they were leaving Tatooine for Cobb Vanth, and that they were going to be mercenaries. But I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know where they're going to take Boba and Fennec, because Boba is a changed person now, right? He's a changed man. So what is his next step? What is his goal after this? He's freed the people of Tatooine. He's brought them together, brought peace to that area. Obviously, Cobb Vanth is coming in, and Cobb Vanth is very similar to Boba Fett in that he brought people together, and I think he's a good leader, and he's going to be a cyborg, which is even more awesome. But where does Boba go? I'm curious. It would make sense for him. I know it's not his show, but if he he should ride the Mythosaur, because that would make sense after the Rancor. Yeah, it would be him that would do it. I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm excited for season 3 of Mandalorian. We're still almost a year away. I think it's not going to come out till Christmas time or even early New Year next year. So we got to wait a long time for that. Hopefully we get it. That'd be very, very nice. See a little piece of it at Star Wars Celebration. Are you going to Star Wars Celebration?
I totally forgot about it.
But I won't be there. I think we're gonna. I've heard from people, from sources that are saying that people who have sources, I should say, are saying that we're going to get a lot of material at Star Wars Celebration. There's going to be a lot of content coming our way. I don't know about Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan comes out the day before Celebration starts. But Andor, I'm guaranteed we're going to get some Andor stuff, Bad Batch stuff. We might get some news on Ahsoka. Maybe they even started shooting Ahsoka by then. And what else is? I don't know what else is coming up. But the Rogue Squadron, maybe we'll get something for Rogue Squadron at Star Wars Celebration. The movie that might exist. We have no idea.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to all of it. There was a rumor I heard that both Samuel L. Jackson and Tamara Morrison wants a scene or something, either Mandalorian or if a second season of Book of Boba Fett, where Boba is seeking revenge against Mace Windu. So I think a lot of people, including the two actors themselves, are really hoping for that.
Well, Tamora Morrison said in an interview that he would like to see Mace Windu coming and hunting him down. I don't know if he said it for real or just in jest, but he did say that. And of course, Heidi, this thing that came out a couple days ago, where Samuel L. Jackson was on the Happy Sad Confused that podcast, and he was asked about Mace Windu, and he said that he liked the idea of Mace Windu roaming around, and he just did a movie with Bryce Dallas Howard, and he said that he mentioned it to her, and then Josh Horowitz, the host of that podcast, tweeted that out, and then she kind of quote tweeted it with the shifty eye look. And I think that was all. I think they're just having fun with the fan. I think they're having fun with the Star Wars fans. They know what get us, and that's all they're really doing there. But maybe there's more to it. I don't know, because the other thing too is you have Disney Plus, and actually Variety just released this thing earlier where it kind of said that Disney is, in terms of, I think there was a chart of money makers or popularity or something, and Disney was fairly low on that now. Yeah. They're behind so much. Yeah, and so you think you have all of this material, you have actors who are willing to go for it. If you can find someone who would have a a story for it, maybe you listen to that pitch and maybe you may give us a mini series about Mace Windu. I know, for me, I'm fine with him being dead, but I'm fine with him being
Okay.
dead. But at the same time, who has stayed dead in Star Wars? Everyone comes back in Star Wars, so why wouldn't you just let Mace Windu come back?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think when the movie Solo was made, I think Ron Howard went to his daughter, and I don't know if it was Bryce or another. I don't know how many kids he has, and asked who the surprise person should be revealed, and she's the one who said Darth Maul, and I'm wondering if Mace Windu might have been on his mind.
That's interesting. Yeah, I know. This is what drives me nuts about Star Wars, though, is like they should know. And what drives me more nuts is the reports are coming out now that Dave Filoni kind of did rewrites on the Obi-Wan show, which was announced
Right.
it was announced 2 or 3 years ago. Like that's old news. Like that was 2020, I think. Early 2020 we got that news. But what wasn't announced then was that, and Hollywood Reporter is claiming this, and I believe Lucasfilm is denying it, that Darth Maul was originally in those first scripts for Obi-Wan. And that right there
Okay.
to me is I love Darth Maul. Everyone knows Darth Maul's my favorite, aside from Jar Jar. I love Darth Maul, but that is the stupidest thing you could have done. He makes sense in Solo, like made complete sense in
Right.
Solo, but in Obi-Wan, it's the stupidest thing ever. It
Right.
completely ruins Rebels. Like would completely just like obliterate everything to do with what season 3 and 4 of that show. That it would just completely ruin it. And the season 2 to 3, whatever it was, which is all about Maul, it would make that pointless. His whole journey trying to find Obi-Wan, wanting to confront Obi-Wan one last time, their last duel. You put him in the show, that's completely ruined, because even if you survive the show, he knows where he's like, why would he try to find Kenobi? He already knows where he is. So
Right.
I just think, or maybe they meet off world somewhere else that's not on Tatooine. But I don't know. For me, that ruined it, and that's what is annoying me about Star Wars is shouldn't they already know their own history?
Well, I mean, you could argue Lucas didn't know his own history because he writes.
Good point. Good point.
Well, I mean, in that famous scene in Return of the Jedi where Luke asks Leia if she remembers her mother, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I was really young. When she was died. I just have memories of her being beautiful but sad." And the only time Leia saw her was when she looked at her right before she died in childbirth. So I guess
Which
she was quite sad.
who doesn't remember that moment in their lives when
Yeah.
your firstborn? Okay, you got a point there, but I mean, but also we can give them the benefit of the doubt that she might also been talking about her adopted mother as well in that moment. I, anyway, that kind of disappointed me a little bit, but the idea of Mace Windu coming back again, not something that I care or need, but if you offered it to me and you put it on Disney Plus, I would definitely hit the play button weekly.
Unless there's like a series for him before Order 66, maybe his own adventures while he was a Jedi. That's a possibility. Or also, um, I think there's going to be flashbacks, live action versions of maybe not stuff that actually happened in the Clone Wars cartoons, but things that happened during that time period. I heard there's going to be flashbacks of that. So there could be flashbacks of Mace Windu in Obi-Wan. I don't know. We don't know everyone who's going to come on until they appear. As for Maul, maybe there's flashbacks of him of Obi-Wan fighting Maul, and that's one way to make it work without making it stupid, I guess.
Yeah, no, flashbacks definitely would have made sense for sure. I'm happy that they went with Vader, though. I think because the Anakin Obi-Wan connection, again, that's something I didn't need, though, because they have that moment in A New Hope where this is something I have not felt since, and then Vader walks away, and you have the gap from Mustafar, Obi-Wan leaving him burning alive in the lava. Like, I was fine with that, but now we're going to get 2 more battles reportedly of those two going head to head, and I'm fine with that as well. And I like the idea that Vader's going to kick the crap out of Obi-Wan in the first fight. I love that idea because he should. Like, Vader should be more powerful than Obi-Wan. That's how it should be. And then the second one, I don't know what's gonna happen. They'll either Obi-Wan will win or they'll tie, or I think Obi-Wan will probably have the upper hand, and then that's it's gonna be that fight that's gonna lead to this something I have not felt since, and then he walks away. I think that's what's gonna be that moment, and I think that fight is going to. Right now, when you ask people their favorite lightsaber battles, you get Duel of the Fates and you get Mustafar Anakin versus Obi-Wan, or I guess it's Vader versus Obi-Wan. I think this second fight, Heidi, quote me on this, write this down right now, March 17th, 2022, James is saying that is going to be everyone's new favorite lightsaber fight come June, whenever it airs. Yeah. And if it's not the case, I'm deleting this video.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not gonna fight you on that one. Yeah, I mean, also Qui-Gon Jinn is supposedly his voice is what gives Anakin the power to fight Vader. This which would in our case would be the fourth time, but I guess in canon would end up being the third time, which is what gives and I hope I'm not spoiling anything. These are just rumors online. Apparently, while Obi-Wan faces Vader the second time, I guess, or the third time, I'm not sure. Or the fourth time, I don't know. Anyway,
it was that time.
Obi-Wan faces Vader, and he's losing, and then he hears Qui-Gon's voice, and that's what gives him the power to get the upper hand over Vader. This time. So, I mean, there's also the possibility that Mace is dead, but his ghost eventually shows up. Who knows?
Yeah, we do hear his voice in Rise of Skywalker, so he becomes a Force ghost at some point. I don't know. I love this idea, though, Haya, that you just mentioned with Qui-Gon that they're saying is happening, where the series starts and he can't contact Qui-Gon. He's trying everything he can to contact Qui-Gon. And then as the series goes on, he has that fight with Vader, and that there's a moment in there where something happens with Obi-Wan, and then all of a sudden he can communicate now with Qui-Gon. And then for the rest of the series, he'll be able to just hear his voice. And then at the end of the movie, or at the end of the series, he's going to see Qui-Gon, his Force ghost. I love that idea because, again, this harkens back to the original trilogy. The first time Luke communicates with Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's not right away after he goes. It's in the trench run on the Death Star. Right. He's there and he doesn't see Ben. He doesn't see old Ben. He hears his voice. And it's not until the next movie when he's had time and he's in a predicament that he finally sees Obi-Wan. So it's kind of mirroring the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon is mirroring the Luke and Obi-Wan in a way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of analogies you can take from this, just from what I've seen about like Obi-Wan working as a stone cutter and just going through life and not being able to do anything until his purpose. And it's almost like a Christ-like analogy, and the same thing where Jesus was a carpenter and he didn't do anything until his time came. I don't know that's what the producers are going for, but I mean, I kind of got that out of it, although you can probably say there's a lot of religious aspects between different Muslim and Judeo-Christian religions involved with the Force.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot that you can connect the dots for those as well. Let's go on. Well, we got one more thing I want to talk to you about. One more, because one of my favorite things in Star Wars is the Praetorian Guards. I love the Praetorian Guards. Everyone knows that. The Last Jedi ruined my childhood and Star Wars forever. I'm just joking, but it gave us the... Do you know what? Side Akbar. I am so sick of The Last Jedi on Twitter. It's like, it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You don't like it. It's been like, I get it. Okay. I had a meal a little while ago I didn't like. I'm still not talking about it. Like, let's just move on. You know, it's like, you can't mention that movie on Twitter without creating an uproar. And it just, it's actually, you know what? The biggest tweet Rebel Scum has is I tweeted, I guess like a month or two ago, I said there are only 11 good Star Wars movies, and it exploded, and there was a lot of hate. Anyway, I had to mute replies for a while because people were, because some people because everyone's different, and some people, and if somebody said like Rise of Skywalker was their favorite, those people would get destroyed. And The Last Jedi obviously is Last Jedi, so I was just like mute. I'm like block. Don't let people comment. I'm done. This is too much.
I always have a rule. I don't discuss religion or politics unless I know someone agrees with me. In the last few years, I've had to add that Star Wars to that rule.
You have to. It's so true. Last Jedi. I love I like The Last Jedi a lot, and I love the Praetorian Guards. It's my favorite scene in the sequel trilogy, I think, as a whole, and it's one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars as a whole saga. So I love that scene. And now Heidi, Bespin Bulletin, is reporting that there are rumors that the Praetorian Guards are going to be around that cave area that we discussed at the beginning of this show. But not only that, there's going to be Mandalorian armor that's reminiscent of the Praetorian Guards. So I love what they're doing here. We talked a little bit about the EU, and the EU, what was so great about it was it let you kind of go in and kind of flesh out these little details. It doesn't need to be fleshed out. None of it, it's just, but it's fun to do it. And now we get to do that in these shows, and they're doing that with the Praetorian Guards. There's more to them than just standing around looking cool in front of Snoke, and I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed by my dining room or my hair. Red's actually my favorite color, so I'm
really.
Hey, don't laugh. I got carded a year ago with this, so.
Oh, there you go. I'm not laughing. No, so Praetorian Guards. Wait, Praetorian Guards or Sith Troopers? Which do you prefer?
Praetorian Guards.
Well, one did
That's
something.
Actually, I think The Last Jedi was probably my favorite lightsaber battle, even though technically it wasn't a lightsaber battle between two users. It was just the Force users using their lightsabers.
Yeah, I think
definitely my favorite of the sequels.
Yeah, me too. I think if one of the guards had a lightsaber, that would be in my top 5 lightsaber battles of all time. Yeah. But I guess it can't really be in there because it's only a half lightsaber fight. But can you show us your Chewbacca for a second? Because you love the holiday special. Look at that. That is straight from Disney. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's officially canon. You got Chewbacca and his red Snuggies.
The Life Day. I love that. You know what? George Lucas hated that. And I'm sure you've watched the behind the scenes and the making of and the making ofs and all that. The cat's jealous. The cat's singing the Leia song from the end of the special. So cute. I love that, like, George Lucas tried to like ignore that forever, and now people are like, no, you've got to embrace this. Let's embrace it. So and then Lego made their holiday special, and now you see that stuff all over the parks. It's not even Life Day time anymore. It's not even Christmas season, but you can still get the Life Day merch. That's amazing. Right.
Yeah, you got Chewbacca and his little Snuggie. Here's a bit of trivia. The reason I wore Snuggies was they couldn't afford Wookiee costumes. They can only afford the head, so that's why everybody's wearing their red Snuggie at the end of the episode.
I love George Lucas's issues with the Wookiees. He had to make them Ewoks and Jedi because they couldn't afford. That's just, oh man, his favorite. Now he can do whatever he wanted, and he has no say at all in Star Wars. Yeah. But Praetorian Guards are coming back. Mace Windu might be coming back, and the Mandalorian is definitely coming back. Very exciting time. Ahsoka's coming. Anything else you want to add, Heidi?
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I heard the Bad Batch. It's a few years of the future, so I think Omega's gonna be a lot older.
Oh, that's
and like
interesting.
I said, I have a lot of theories about her that maybe she's the armorer, maybe she's Rey's mother, or maybe she's Kira. Who knows?
Kira confirmed. All right, Heidi, we're going to leave it on that note. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you excited for any of the stuff we just talked about? And do you think Omega might be Kira? That's the first time I've heard that. Not really, but I can't wait to see where her story goes because, when you throw when you throw a wrench in a story like that, I hope you know where you're going with it. And it's just not, they forgot about her. I hope there's a little bit more to Omega. But Heidi, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything that you want to plug today?
Just go to Amazon.com. Look at I have a new book up. It's called His Enchanted Swan. That one's actually under my name. But my other stories are under my pen name and Drayton. Please feel free to go to those, but I just warn you, it's 18 and older. So
It's definitely 18
don't
and
get
older.
kids.
I'll put a description, the link, I'll put a link in the description in the below. That's what I'm trying to say here. So check that out. Heidi, thanks so much for joining me on this Star Wars. It's always fun to talk Star Wars with you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you all for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and until next time, may the force of others be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.